Attorney General Merrick Garland just announced the Department of Justice has filed charges against the former and current Louisville police officers in connection with the death of Breonna Taylor. Here is some of that from his press conference.
I spoke with the family of Breonna Taylor. This morning, they were informed that the Justice Department has charged 4 current and former Louisville Metro Police Department officers with federal crimes related to Ms. Taylor's death. Those alleged crimes include civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, unconstitutional use of force, and obstruction offenses. The 4 defendants were charged through 2 separate indictments and 1 information. I'm going to begin today by discussing the civil rights offenses that stem from the falsification of a search warrant. We allege that these offenses resulted in Ms. Taylor's death.
All right, so let me give you some more information about that. So now, Garland also said the federal charges alleged that they had falsified an affidavit used to obtain the search warrant of Ms. Taylor's home, and that this act had violated federal civil rights laws. Those violations, again, as he had mentioned there, resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. So now the federal charges against Detective Joshua Janes, former Louisville Detective Kelly Goodlett, and Sergeant Kyle Meany alleged that they had violated her Fourth Amendment rights when they had sought this warrant to search her home. They knew that they did not have probable cause. They had lied in getting this search warrant to the judge, and so that itself is a big problem. They knew that their affidavit supporting the warrant contained this false and misleading information and had omitted other information resulting in this raid, which resulted in her death. Now, for example, the affidavit falsely claimed that officers had verified that the target of alleged drug trafficking, remember, this is all about not even involved with Taylor herself, okay, and didn't involve her boyfriend, happened to be there, but it was a former boyfriend who was into drugs. So now they said, oh, we think that this former boyfriend is trafficking drugs through her home. Do we have any proof of it? No. Did we make up proof? Yes. They knew it wasn't true. Garland also alleged that Janes and Goodlett knew that armed officers would be carrying out the raid at Taylor's home, and that conducting the search could create a dangerous situation for anyone who happened to be in Miss Taylor's home because of the fact that it was a no-knock raid. But it gets worse. Prosecutors also alleged that Janes and Goodlett had met afterwards in a garage after they had killed Miss Taylor, where they agreed to tell investigators looking into the botched raid a false story. Now think about that. I mean, that sounds like a conspiracy. That sounds like them getting together and conspiring to tell a story. Now, if they have evidence of this, which it seems like if they're doing these charges, they would seem to have be pretty confident in their case. Remember, Merrick Garland doesn't do anything, and I mean anything, unless he thinks, I got the evidence, I got the goods. Okay. Now, charges had also been filed against Brett Hankinson, a former Louisville Metro police officer who was involved in the death of Breonna Taylor. This is a guy who also had been outside of the apartment firing wildly into the windows while others were upstairs. He got there late. Now, he had been charged in a 2-count indictment for depriving rights under the color of the law, both of which are civil rights offenses. Look, he went trigger happy. He somehow was not found guilty on state charges related to that raid. And they only even tried to get him on firing all these shots that went into a neighboring apartment. I mean, it's a miracle that he didn't kill anyone else. But look, again, the state charges, they let all these cops go. And it was absolutely enraging. But this, Merrick Garland actually doing something, well, that's a positive sign. It looks like maybe Merrick Garland started to wake up from his nap. Great. Hey, I'll take it. Wonderful. It took long enough. But I'm hoping now we can get some justice for Breonna Taylor.